Notrious.
Big it up, big it up.
Hear in my voice.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Casual Wrestling Community Show. I am your host, the Notorious Nerdy D, and I am joined tonight by the co-host of this show, Level Up, Lauren.
What's up, y'all?
Each and every week, we break down pro wrestling for all the true casual fans. So whether you are listening on podcast networks or watching on YouTube, make sure to like and leave a comment on this week's episode. Housekeeping for the week, we have 3 spots left in the Premier Top Fantasy League, and then there's 15 spots remaining in the secondary league that will be a feeder league for the Premier League, but 3 spots left. So jump in the comments on this episode and leave me your screen name for dropthebelt.com. It is free to sign up. You go to dropthebelt.com and you make a free account, and you have to give me the exact name you used to sign up there, and we'll get you into one of the 2 leagues. We will be drafting the first week of October. So first week, I haven't decided the exact date. We'll probably know next week the exact date that we will draft, but it's sometime next week. Not next week, first week of October.
Okay.
Top stories of the week. The White Rabbit thing is still going on, and it's like I mentioned to you when we were watching Monday Night Raw. Now I feel like a crackhead because I'm not even watching wrestling anymore. There's all these like rumors and videos going around, and I had a question for you.
Okay.
As this thing, because it doesn't look like there's an end in sight necessarily. It looks like, from everything I read and the kind of predictions are, that this thing is going to draw out.
Yeah.
And it may even go past Extreme Rules. We may not get an actual reveal Extreme Rules. The question for you is, could this White Rabbit gimmick, could it become exhausting if they use it too long? Because I do find myself not watching Monday Night Raw really, or SmackDown, but more searching for clues, which is fun.
Yeah. But
I could see it becoming old at a certain point, or if it runs too long, I think I could just completely lose interest at some point.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So, like, in real life, like outside of wrestling, my attention span's like super short. But being a wrestling fan, I notice they let things carry on really, really long. So I do think that this is going to go on for a while. But they may just, I don't even know. No, I don't think that there's too long, because no matter what, they're going to keep on throwing stuff at us.
You're saying you don't think they can go too long?
No.
You think that it's okay?
No, because they're only going to give us just enough to make us happy, and then they're going to throw something else.
I do think it can go too long. I think, and I already feel like there's a little bit of me that like I'm enjoying it, but now that like it's beginning to splinter, and now they're finding YouTube channels that are like 15 years old, that have numbers in them, that are references to counties, which have cities named. That's all cool and that's great. I'm going to let other people do all the fucking gumshoe stuff and figure it out. And I'll just kind of follow behind as they do it and enjoy it. But I do believe that watching Monday Night Raw, now this last one where it popped up in the middle of the entrance was way easier to find than the SmackDown one, which just hit on a TV that we were looking for and completely missed. Question for everybody out there is, what if this isn't fucking Bray Wyatt? Are we gonna riot? Are we all pissed off? And when I say Bray Wyatt, and I know Triple H alluded to the fact in an interview, he said this is somebody that nobody's talking about.
Ew.
So, but I think that's a play on words. I think that's him being clever, knowing everybody's on to the Bray Wyatt trail.
Yeah.
This is a new version of Wyndham Rotunda.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
The Fiend. This is going to be a character we've never seen, I'm assuming. I'm still on this idea that this is an Alice in Wonderland reference, down the White Rabbit hole, the White Rabbit. I showed you there's a toy at Walmart.
Yeah.
Which is a magician kind of Mad Hatter style Alice in Wonderland Bray Wyatt.
And that's definitely new because we go all the time.
Well, there's also a promo that he did cut, part of the Funhouse, whatever, Firefly Funhouse, part of all that stuff, where he did wear that outfit. So it's not a new toy. He's worn the outfit before.
Okay.
And it was with Alexa Bliss, and it was kind of in the midst of her turning to the evil. He was doing this whole Mad Hatter type shtick, which got her to turn. She closed her eyes, came back, her eyes had the contacts. So I think that what that leads me to believe is Bray Wyatt has some kind of infatuation with Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought of when I saw the White Rabbit was Alice in Wonderland. Bray Wyatt lends himself to that crazy kind of world. I'm just afraid that we've got too many fucking paths to follow right now, right? You've got, there was like reference to a Corbin County, which now you start jumping on. Is it Corbin? You've got Aleister Black being thrown in because lyrics to his theme song were within one of the videos or something. It's fucking getting hard for me to follow.
So could Alexa Bliss be Alice? He's one of the characters in Alice in Wonderland. And her going to therapy was something that maybe tapped into her going crazy, and that's like all like a figment of her imagination or something.
Yeah, I don't know if it goes back that far. I don't know if
That's
the
what popped in my
therapy
head.
that's clever, but I don't know if it goes back that far. I do think we're getting a cast of characters. I think that the whole Wyndham Six and things like that, or Rotunda Six, whatever it was, I do think that there's going to be some connections. It may be people we know, it may not. I threw out there the other day, is fucking Charlotte part of this thing?
Oh.
Because she's been gone and she makes a good queen character.
True. Definitely.
Right? But then there's Natalia, who is an actual heart, who could be the Queen of Hearts. Yeah. But she was backstage when the thing, I don't know, like it's hard. It's getting hard to follow. And like, I don't know. At a certain point, do you start finding clues that don't even exist?
Yes.
Right? Do you start, so on Monday Night Raw, when Bayley was talking, there's a segment where Bayley's talking to Bianca in the back. And if you look over the shoulder of Bayley, and I'm talking like way in the back, there's a kitchen. And it looks like there's a fucking guy in a mask that walks by.
Ooh.
And so everybody goes, well, there you go. It's a clue. Is it a clue, or is it just a person that moved by real fast? Is it a real ugly person that walked by? Like, it gets hard. It can get, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate here, but I could see this. We're talking about, if we don't get a reveal for 4 weeks, that's 4 weeks of me watching SmackDown and Raw and backstage segments and panicking. And I don't know why I'm panicking, because I can jump online afterwards and find all this information. But then you play the game of like, well, is everybody missing something? Is there, so I like, I'm playing the little game on my phone, and instead of going to the door, I'm fucking going all to the corners and saying, maybe there's a hidden door,
There's something,
right?
because I heard them talking about it the other day, and then he's like, it took me 20 minutes to figure out the maze. And I was like, we just went straight to the end.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So we missed
I don't
something.
know. Maybe there is.
But I will say, we watched Raw, and I saw something really cool. I was like, did you see that? And you're like, no, I'm looking for the clues.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, it's like, no, and like, sadly enough, I had to go back and kind of rewatch Raw, because there's so much of it, especially the backstage stuff, that I missed. Because like when the Miz is Dexter Lumis, I'm looking in the glass case to see what I can find.
That's
and
their
things
plan, is for us to rewatch it, so that then they're getting more eyes on it.
That's true, but is the plan for me to just completely ignore what's on screen? And it could get old. That's all I'm saying. Prediction time. I don't think we get the White Rabbit at Extreme Rules. Like some people have been predicting. I think we get a big tease. I think it's time for a big tease. I think it'll give us a slight bit of clarity. We'll start to kind of have a feel for, and it may not be for Bray Wyatt. It may just be for one of the characters that's in this cast and crew that he's creating. But I think we get fed a little bit of information at Extreme Rules, and then I do think this thing just kind of slowly spins out.
Yeah.
And other news, Saraya, they're making a big deal about people saying her name wrong, and you know me, I don't fucking say names correct.
Yeah.
So I think it's Saraya. Paige came back to AEW last week. She cut a promo this week, and there's been questions running around, is Paige fully cleared to wrestle? So she came out and cut a promo last night where, if you're going to go off of my opinion, I don't think she's cleared to wrestle. She clearly avoided any kind of physical confrontation with Britt Baker and those people.
Yep.
She wasn't a lumberjack as part of the match, and she spoke in a way, almost a bootleg Stephanie McMahon is what she was trying to do, right?
Yeah.
If you remember the whole women's evolution where the
Yes.
division kind of changed, it felt like this is Tony Khan's attempt to go, oh, we're just going to copy that and do that here, and we'll call it the women's revolution. And Paige is going to lead it. Only problem is to have a revolution, to have this big movement where you're going to shift your division, because their women's division is lacking. Point being, if you're going to have a revolution, I have to recognize at least half the people on the fucking screen.
Yeah.
I had no clue who half of those women are. I know who Toni Storm is. I know who Paige is. I know who Athena is. But like when you start, those were low-level wrestlers on the WWE roster. We're not even talking about people who I feel are misused in WWE. Those are wrestlers that they hadn't even ascended. So if those are going to be your top dogs in your women's division, you didn't sell me on it. And Paige definitely didn't sell me on it. And Paige was extremely rusty, which is to be expected. It's been a long time since she's cut promos in the ring. But why is it that every time someone comes out and debuts for AEW, they kind of break the fourth wall?
Oh, yeah.
Instead of coming out and cutting a promo in character, it's your opportunity to introduce yourself to the AEW crowd. It's always, I'm so thankful to be back. Skip that part. Stop doing that. Stop telling everybody CM Punk, Paige. I'm so thankful to be back, because in 4 weeks, they're not going to give a fuck who you are anymore. You get one opportunity to introduce your character as a badass. And Paige came out and she fell flat. Her promo fell flat. She didn't get the Philadelphia crowd behind her. And what does she do? The classic AEW, oh, this is failing. I'm going to try to take a shit on WWE, because that's what these IWC marks will fucking react to, right?
Yes.
But they didn't even, I think even the IWC with Triple H taking over, I think they're kind of over the whole let's shit on WWE thing.
Yeah.
I think that Triple H has done a good job of kind of creating an environment where the IWC feels a little more accepted over there. So there's not this competition between the two companies from a fan's point of view anymore. And so once again, she mishandles that and she falls flat and she resorts to shitting on WWE and shitting on Vince McMahon and going, I'm finally in a place where my boss listens. Hey man, give it a couple weeks. Tony Khan only likes the shiny new toys. 3 or 4 weeks from now, he's not going to give two fucks what you say. My problem with Paige is that so when she left WWE, I have this right here. She pinned a letter that she put on social media. And this is what it says. It said, you learn about people's true nature. I found from how they treat you when you're closer to the bottom. And you remember, Paige has gone through a lot of shit with Alberto Del Rio, domestic violence. She's been charged with domestic violence, I believe.
Yeah.
So she says, and a few years ago, I got pretty close to the bottom. It was like almost overnight, so many things changed. Suddenly, my neck was fucked and I couldn't wrestle. I popped on a drug test. My sex tape got leaked. I got depressed. I started drinking and I became less of an asset to WWE and more of a liability for a long term. I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. She's openly admitting she was a problem, but they never lost faith in me. They never once threw me off the side. They got me the help I needed when I needed help. They gave me the time and space I needed, the time and space. So why do you go out and shit on WWE in your promo? It is okay just to go out there and cut your promo and fall flat. And if you're bombing, eat the fucking bomb, go back to the back, figure out what went wrong, and fix it in the next week's promo. Don't do the stupid, cheap thing where you fucking take a shit on your ex-boss. I do think IWC casual fans, we're all kind of over that.
Yeah.
AEW guys got to quit doing that. Quit trying to take a shit on WWE, because right now, that was cool 6 months ago when Vince McMahon was in control. But I think that, I know the perception has flipped at this point. And WWE is beginning to be the cool kids in pro wrestling. Triple H is making it cool again. The White Rabbit is making it cool again. Yeah. He is starting to build a company around good ideas and good principles and good business principles that like WWE is starting to rise back up and have kind of a resurgence of a golden era. Now let's talk about this, right? You bring in Paige, and essentially what you're doing, this is a big fuck you to the rest of the women's division, because you're saying, Tony Khan's saying, we need help. We need somebody. They're not even going to wrestle at this point. We just need a personality to come in. And then what happens? Fucking Britt Baker comes out and once again proves what I continue to say about Britt Baker. She is the best women's wrestler in AEW. Hands down. You guys can fucking hate on her all you want. But Britt Baker, when handed a microphone, is fucking good at what she does.
Oh, yeah.
And she can wrestle good enough to sell the story. She is the best thing going in AEW right now as far as women go. And she took a hot shit all over Paige in that promo.
Yeah.
She's better on a microphone than Paige is. And it exposed early on, and I think there was a little bit of frustration from Paige, and she dropped a stupid joke about, oh, your name rhymes with shit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone from you guys telling me how hardcore and adult fucking AEW is to now you're like Mother Goose and nursery rhymes. Well, your name rhymes with shit. And then on top of that, now fucking TNT and TBS, they're fucking bleeping out the word shit.
Yeah.
I think Fox and USA allow WWE to say the word shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, you talk about just a 360 in fucking programming.
I saw both. I saw one on Twitter, a cut of it, and then I saw it on our, like, I guess DVR or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, did that just really
They
happen?
bleeped the word. I mean,
Well, she also made that other reference, like when she was talking about Toni Storm, like the best women's champion ever in
AEW.
Like,
and I get, like, you have to hype the champion, but
Yeah.
come on, let's show a little. Let's put
it
some
was Britt
fucking
Baker is the best
put
one.
some fucking respect on Britt Baker's name. Like, she is as good as I say she is. You guys can hate
I love
all
you,
you
girl.
fucking want, but there's not many women on a microphone that can out talk. I don't know that there's any woman on a microphone that can out talk Britt Baker. I just don't. WWE or AEW. I'm trying to think. Charlotte's pretty good. Becky's good. Sasha's okay, and she's not. I mean, she's not on the roster right.
I
don't know.
think Britt could win like over Sasha if they went.
You're talking about
head-to-head.
mic battle.
Mic battle.
But
yeah.
here's the problem too with AEW. Why does it feel like, and I know these promos aren't scripted, and this is just even more of a reason why maybe you should fucking have an outline to go off of. AEW promos feel like rap battles. It feels like you're out there to embarrass the other person instead of build your story with the other person. There is a way. Sheamus and Gunther have fucking done this magically. There's a way that two guys go into a what do you call it? A feud, a program. They go into a program together and both people come out looking good. In AEW, it feels like that one person is going to attempt to shit on the other person in order to get over and leave the other person in a worse situation. That's what it feels like to me.
Yes, sir.
Last news story I want to talk about. Ric Flair says he's not retired yet.
All right.
Didn't we just do a fucking event called Ric Flair's last match?
Yeah.
And now this dude got so hyped up that he's saying he's not done yet. He's starting to train again. Ricky Steamboat Dragons train. Here's the problem, Rick. Here's the problem. When you sell an event based on the idea this is your last match, that's why the people bought the tickets.
Yeah.
They don't want to see Ric Flair wrestle weekly. They bought the tickets because they think they're a part of history. They go, I bought tickets to Rick. I saw Ric Flair wrestle for the last time ever. So if you wrestle again, you shit on all of those people. And if you say it's your last match again, here we go again. If you don't say it's your last match, I don't think you do the same numbers. Here's the problem. Read the article about this. Mm-hmm. He fucking passed out twice during the match.
Oh my God.
He talks about in an interview that he came back. At one point, he gets tagged by Andrade.
Yeah.
And Andrade goes, "It's your turn, sir." And that he goes, "I didn't know at what part of the match we were." Hey, man, that's it. You take that shiny jacket, you hang it up on the wall. You could be a manager. There's a lot of things you could do, but you probably shouldn't be wrestling anymore. You just probably should. And he goes, "I was dehydrated." No, motherfucker, you're not passing out twice from dehydration.
They should have like GWC, Geriatric Wrestling Company.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump to on a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10 this week, how excited is everybody that for like the first time in a long time, Extreme Rules actually is going to fucking feel extreme?
Yeah.
Almost every match has some sort of gimmick or stipulation. Just this morning, I woke up, opened my phone, boom, there's another match with another stipulation ready to go. We have right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 confirmed matches. We usually get about 6 or 7. So this card is pretty much filled up, and I am all about every match on this card. We have the SmackDown's Women's Championship, Extreme Rules match, Liv Morgan, Ronda Rousey. This is what I said Liv needed. I think Liv wins this. These aren't official predictions. These are just me throwing ideas out. But it gives Liv needs an equalizer. She can't beat Ronda straight up, but if she can hit her with weapons, anybody can win that match. And if Liv does, if they take her to a kind of a sadistic level, that could create some dimension within her character. I think we may get a heel turn at this point with Liv, but I'm 10 out of 10 on that match. I'm excited. Okay. Right. Fight pit match, Matt Riddle, Seth Rollins. I've never seen a fucking fight pit match.
Me neither.
I had to look up what the fuck a fight pit was. It's like an MMA octagon that gets dropped down from the ceiling, but it's square. It's weird. It's more like MMA style fight. I'm all about this.
Let's go.
I know Seth Rollins is going to sell this match. Riddle's a fucking ex-MMA guy. 10 out of 10. I'm 10 out of 10 excited. We got the Raw Women's Championship ladder match, Bianca Belair, Bayley. Hey man, we're just gonna throw a fucking ladder match in here. Like these are all matches that usually headline pay-per-views by themselves.
Yeah.
And this is just in the middle of the card or the beginning of the card or at the end of the card. I don't know where this is going, but I'm 10 out of 10. Strap match, Drew McIntyre, Karrion Kross. I want them to be careful how they book this.
Okay.
Because what I don't need is I saw a little bit of Karrion Kross showing weakness and getting beat up a little bit, and I don't think that's the right thing. Drew McIntyre can sustain some losses.
Okay.
He was built up so big for so long. Let's build Karrion Kross into a monster, and let's not deflate all of this momentum he had coming in, because WWE needs a new Undertaker. And when I say that, I don't mean they need a new Undertaker. They need that new Figment character that's a little spooky, it's a little supernatural. And I think right now there's a couple characters that can I think Damian Priest could vie for that spot. I think if Bray Wyatt comes back, he could vie for that spot. I also do believe that Karrion Kross could fill a little more realistic version of that spot. But what I don't want them to do is just book Karrion Kross as a normal wrestler right now. Let him beat Drew McIntyre. Let him get the upper hand here, and not in just some corny, cheesy way. Like, I think he really needs to go over in this match. But 10 out of 10 excited for that. I Quit match, Edge and Finn Balor. Though I feel like this is going to last forever.
Okay.
And I don't know what the fuck is like the Judgment Day's actual purpose. This will be a really good match. I Quit match. The only problem is Edge has to quit beating up all 3 of them by himself. Because you're losing, why am I supposed to believe that Finn Balor can beat Edge? And we know we're going to get the help because this I Quit match is no DQ. So we know we're going to get the help of the whole cast and crew is going to be out there, right? Dominic, Rhea, Damian, fucking Rey Mysterio, they'll all be there. So this is going to turn into a clusterfuck I Quit match. And then just this morning, we got announced that there's a Donnybrook match between the Imperium and the Brawling Brutes, which is, I'm all about that. Anytime you put Sheamus and Gunther in the ring, that's magic. The supporting cast and crew, Butch, Ridge Holland, 2 guys from Imperium. I know one of them. One of them's like Da Vinci, and the other one is Ludwig. Ludwig. When you put all those guys in the ring, I think it's fun. It's magic, and that'll just be people beating the shit out of each other, and it'll be fun. Donnybrook match. It's my second Donnybrook match. I'm excited for it. Well, I think we get one more match. If I look at this card, though, there's not a lot of time left. These matches are going to take time. I had penciled in either KO or Johnny Gargano versus Theory. I don't think so. I think that's moving on to Crown Jewel. I think we're going to get Braun Strowman versus Alpha Academy in a handicap match.
Okay.
I think that's because that doesn't have to take, that can be a time filler match, right? If you want to end it in 2 minutes, you can end it in 2 minutes. If you want to give it 10 minutes, you can get 10 minutes. That type of match. Right now, no Bloodline on the show, which I think I like.
Okay.
I like this idea that the Bloodline are kind of taking a break, that they've done everything. There's nothing left for them to do. They could do something with Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley to tease Sami Zayn winning the United States title.
Yeah.
I don't think there's enough time to build that up and make it make sense, but they could do that.
So do you think that Sami Zayn would ever get a belt as part of like the bloodline?
I think so. I think that this thing took a turn on them. I think they intended to break up the bloodline earlier. I think they intended for KO and Sammy to kind of run together. And then I think Sammy all of a sudden popped and the crowd got behind him and they like him in the bloodline. And I think that they've kind of found a way to integrate him that works on a weekly basis. The turmoil between him and Jay, but him and Solo, and it is setting seeds for a breakup later on. But I do think Sammy's there for the time being, and why not give him a belt? That belt, the United States title, feels wasted on Bobby Lashley, except that he's making it feel. I will say he gives it a little bit of prestige because he's winning weekly, but he's got to get going in something that makes me care more than just about the belt, but to care about Bobby Lashley. And don't just, whatever it is, don't let it be Omos again.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the rumor mill for this week. Rumor mill was digging around the dirt sheets and Twitter. I found that there's a rumor going around that at WrestleMania Hollywood, 2 matches on the women's card are already confirmed. We're just wiggling our maze to get there. And basically, I think this is a flip of last year's card. So supposedly we're going to get Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch at some point. And then we're going to get Charlotte Flair versus Bianca.
Okay.
Both solid matches. That leaves Bayley kind of out in the cold. That's now we're under the assumption that Sasha doesn't come back. Yeah, I mean, it starts to feel like a lot of the same when you see these top names. I literally thought that, but like maybe I was there's other people like Rhea Ripley's petty. Available. You've got Raquel Rodriguez is available. Like you could get some fresh meat into these matches in interesting ways. I mean, like I said, this is just a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. But that doesn't necessarily just like right now at this point in time, and maybe because there's no build up for it. But none of this sets my alarms off and goes, oh, this is going to make WrestleMania special. Yeah, it just kind of feels like more of the same. It's like, oh, remember the 4 real good women from last year? We're just going to mix them up, and we'll just flip around who they fought. There's another rumor going around. That all these title redesigns that we've been talking about, yes, that we will start to see these new titles as the season premieres of each show hit. NXT, SmackDown, Raw. Raw's season premiere is October 10th in Brooklyn.
Thank you.
And Roman Reigns is being teased to be in attendance, which would lead to a new WWE Championship. They could show it. The rumor is they're going to continue to have 2 belts. They're not unifying any belts. And the rumor is that going into WrestleMania, there will be 2 different champions. So at some point, that these are rumors. These are just the information I decipher. This is not, don't take any of this as me making a prediction or set in stone. These are rumors that I'm pulling out that there's a consensus between, there's a group of people who are kind of rumor guys. Yeah. And I follow them and I follow what they're saying. And when they all kind of line up on something, I take it as there's at least smoke there. There may not be fire, but there's smoke. SmackDown premiere is October 7th. Okay. So 7th and 10th is when, and Roman Reigns is announced for that show, I believe. So what is that?
I don't think I ever realized that there was season premieres.
That's next week, right?
Honestly.
That's next week?
Yeah.
Okay, so we may have to adjust the draft. I didn't realize we were so close to October. So next week we may start seeing these things. That's cool. Last rumor that I kind of picked up on this week was Sasha Banks. The holdup in Sasha Banks, that she is still on the WWE roster, but the holdup with her not returning to WWE is that she has told Triple H she will not return unless they grant her the exclusive rights to her IP, her name, Sasha Banks. She wants to be able to take that name and use it with Disney, use it at fashion shows, use it wherever she goes. She doesn't want to be Mercedes. She wants to be Sasha Banks because that's how the world knows her. I'm sorry, man. This is what happens when you think you're bigger than the company you're part of, right? You walk off and you go, I'm going to go promote myself as Mercedes Varnado or whatever. And everybody's like,
Who the fuck
is that, right?
Yeah.
Sasha knows she needs this IP. Problem for Sasha is I don't think WWE feels like they have to have her. And I don't think Triple H is just in this panic to go, we'll give you anything you want.
Yeah.
Now, IPs cost money. So if she wants to buy that IP, I'm sure that Triple H is like, here's the number. You figure out how you get here and you can have it. But I also think in the back of Triple H's mind, he has to know, look, we're not stupid. You've twice now taken your ball and gone home when you don't like what's going on. So we're going to give you your name so that the next time you're mad, now you can run off and have everything you want. I just like, it's not, there's no way that works. If she gets that stuff, you have to sign some kind of ironclad contract that says you can't fucking leave when you're mad. I don't know that all this is true. I believe that this is something she wants. It's probably something she's working toward. I'm guessing that her lack of return has just been story hasn't needed it. She's out there doing her thing, living her best life,
trying on dresses.
And I think that we're more likely to see them around these season premieres, so these shows that are built.
I have a question. Who are superstars that WWE has given their names to? The Rock, right?
No, I don't think when you say given,
okay,
I don't know that anybody's been given.
Like,
are you leaving that up in the corner?
No, I didn't mean to.
Okay. I don't know that anybody's given anybody a name. I'm sure that you can buy your name. I'm sure that WWE has worked out deals with like John Cena and The Rock so that they can use their name.
Stone Cold, right?
But John Cena, that is...
I don't know if that's his real name.
I don't either. That's what I don't know. It's interesting.
He's just John Cena.
Stone Cold had to have worked out a deal. The Rock had to have worked out a deal. Those are the ones that I know for sure. But IP's a big fucking deal. Like that, it's not a little deal to get your name. There's a reason the WWE wants to own that name, and there's a reason the WWE typically makes you change your name when you come into wrestling.
Yeah.
They want to own that name, but that's the only real protection they have. I've said this numerous times. If you build a guy up to a superstar level, and then he's able to walk out with that same name, the company invested all that money in that person, like all the marketing materials. And I think that's what goes, there's a lot of people who don't understand that, yeah, companies are big and evil, but they're also helpful, right? Like if they put all this time and effort, Sasha Banks didn't become Sasha Banks because of Mercedes. I say this over and over. She became Sasha Banks because of opportunities that WWE afforded her. Now, you still have, like, it's a symbiotic relationship. You still have to perform. Sasha Banks has to go over there and get over with the crowd. But if you don't have a platform that every week you walk out in front of 20,000 people and get to do your fucking thing, if you don't have that platform, you never ascend to that level.
Yeah, because there's tons of indie wrestlers that are talented that just don't get that opportunity.
Look at Luigi Primo.
Yeah.
He was on AEW.
I love you, Luigi.
He was on AEW again last night. All right, let's go to the casual curve. Let's grade Raw and SmackDown this week. SmackDown was, to me, a B show. I had it rated at like an 82, which on my scale is 100. I rate something 100, it's perfect. 95, it's amazing. 90, it's great. 85 is good. 80 is okay. 75 is mediocre. 70 is bad. 65 is awful. 60 is painful to watch. So Raw was like an 82. It was a B. It was a good show. Nothing wrong with it. But here's my problem. It's weighed down by these continuous, like, Liv and Lacey matches that I don't understand what they're doing. We're trying to make Liv look extreme, but she kind of was booked weak again. I told you during the match, I've never seen a babyface champion that has been booked in this weak position. Now, I know that the storytelling, she transitioned towards the end and she got a little extreme, but I still like...
I've never seen that look on her face before.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and he's got to try and sell it. I'm not blaming him. But like that match, I have that rated at a 70. That brings down the overall score of the show because I had like the main event at a 90. I had the Roman promo that opened the show with Roman and Sammy and giving him the t-shirt. That was 100. Yeah. And it's I don't like to give out 100, but that hit me in the heart. That was a feel-good moment.
Like, oh my God, is he going to kick him out? Like,
I thought this was it. I thought this was the end for Sammy. I was like, no, I'm just starting to enjoy this a lot. And then they fucking like Roman shows heart, which then makes you go, God damn, I fucking like
I love
Roman
Roman
too.
Reigns.
Yeah. Like he's human. He's not an asshole.
Yeah.
Good booking.
Yep.
Good booking. That was 100. The maximum male bottles, I think 75. Braun and Otis, I had an 80. Cross and Drew McIntyre, I had an 85. Raquel and Dakota, I had at a 75. And then the main event, I had a 90. So B show for SmackDown. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's way down. Like they got to get rid of some of that dead weight. Monday Night Raw, I had a B as well. My high points of Monday Night Raw, I think, were Johnny Gargano, and KO fighting against Alpha Academy. I thought that was a solid match. Alpha Academy, they get used kind of. I hate the word jobber, right? Because they're not jobbing. They're really good at what they do. But right now, they're kind of enhancing these stories for people. For Braun, they're going back and forth and doing this. So the talent is phenomenal. But they like the last couple weeks, every match that Alpha Academy's in, I've seemed to enjoy. So whatever it is about them, I enjoy them in a match. What brought down Raw's score was the Omos squash. How many fucking times are we going to do this?
Yeah.
Like how many? Like who at this point?
Who's excited for Omos?
I'm
sorry.
I have it written right here. You're exactly right. That's my question. When I did the Dominic Mysterio thing, who buys the Dominic Mysterio shirt? People raise their hands. So let's do it again.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is excited to see Omos on Monday Night Raw? Ever? Why? What is it about him? What are you enjoying? You like seeing him just beat up on random indie wrestlers? Because typically you don't go from squashing people to a real program with someone like Bobby Lashley back to squashing people because you couldn't get over or nobody's excited. So who is it? Who the fuck out there? Like, because they're hanging on to him for some reason.
Yeah.
There's some reason that they got Braun back. Maybe they're building him up so Braun can beat the shit out of him. I don't know. But like, who the fuck is excited for Omos? Raise your fucking hand and duet this and shoot me the finger, whatever they like to do. Do all that
Make
shit.
yourself a t-shirt.
Yeah, do all that shit and let me know why you're excited for Omos. The main event, I had it at 90. The AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, I had it at 95. That kind of raised up the score. Cool return for Candice LeRae. Thought that was interesting. Nikki Ash needs to lose the mask. It's time. There's a good character buried underneath a bunch of bullshit there. She could be exciting. Yeah, she could. Returning back to kind of the NXT sanity, crazy Nikki would be fun. Yeah. So like, let her. It's time to expand on that. I think it's run its course. It was fun. It was funny for a little bit, but sometimes these gimmicks overstay their welcome. Now, once again, this is what it looks like we're leading to, right? She's thrown the mask off. She's shown frustration with Doudrop. So I don't think I'm just getting ahead of what Triple H is doing here. He's definitely on this path. So I'm not screaming for something that I don't think he's doing. I'm just reiterating that if this is the path he's on the right path. And last thing I kind of want to talk about there was from Raw was I find myself losing interest, and I talked about this earlier, in the Judgment Day. What is the Judgment Day's purpose besides just trying to destroy Rey Mysterio's family? Like, they keep going. Rhea Ripley keeps saying, Judgment Day runs Monday Night Raw. But all you're doing is fucking attacking Edge and Rey Mysterio and turning Dominic into a submissive bitch. Like, that's it. That is the resume of 4 fucking people now, or 3 people. There's 4 now. Like, they haven't won any titles. They haven't even really attempted to win a title. They haven't really threatened anybody other than those people. Like, why? Edge keeps coming out and handling this all by himself. Yeah. So why are we supposed to fear you? Like, if Edge just put together a little team, what is it, you guys? I see you laugh. Now you're going out and getting fucking drinks and shit because after Monday Night Raw the other night, Dominic was like, I've heard about your epic party and Damian Priest. It's like, what? You're supposed to be a fucking badass faction, and what you're gonna. So, are they a biker gang? I don't know. Like, I remember when we were talking about the Judgment Day, and Edge didn't want to be a part of it because it had like supernatural powers were going to be involved. What supernatural power do they have except fucking getting beat up every week?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, and one more thing I want to talk about. This is just a conspiracy in my head.
Okay.
I do believe that The Miz and Dexter Lumis is building to something, and I don't think some people think that's part of the White Rabbit. I think Tommaso Ciampa is orchestrating this thing against the Miz, and we're going to find out that Tommaso's going to return back to his old character. One thing I found was he has new music on the WWE Apple Music.
He does?
Ciampa has a song, and I haven't heard. Maybe he's used it since he's come to the main roster. But typically when these new songs get added, he's not in the ring gear, like the neon colors. Let me see if I
With
can.
the Miz.
Yeah. If you go to Apple Music and you pull up Def Rebel, which is Def, DEF,
Okay.
REBEL, they've just added some new songs. They put up Hit Row.
Okay.
They put up the three people from Judgment Day, Cora Jade, Pat McAfee. And if you scroll a little farther in, there is a new song for Tommaso Ciampa called Renegade.
Yeah.
From, I can't see, but it was put up August 22nd.
Yeah, he definitely looks fierce there.
So maybe, I don't know. It just little things that I try to pick up on.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure we're going to go back and be like, dude, you called it.
We'll see.
All right.
All right, let's get into a mandatory AEW segment.
Okay.
So my AEW segment this week isn't so much AEW as it is just kind of wrestling in general, but it pertains to a story that I read about AEW. And that is that there's been quite a few people in AEW, quite a few talents, it's rumored, that have asked for their release. Ever since Triple H has taken over power, there's been a couple guys who have gone in, asked for the release, and Tony Khan has denied those releases. Tony Khan has gone on record saying, we're not releasing anybody. Just a few questions I'm going to throw out and then we'll kind of have a conversation is, what is the purpose as a wrestling company of keeping talent on your roster that don't want to be there? Is it just competitive advantage? Is it just you don't want them to go to the other company? Because it feels like in wrestling more so than almost any other sport or any other business, people who don't want to be there are cancerous and they tend to start to drain people around them. You look at guys like Adam Cole when he lost interest in WWE. You just see a change in personality. You see, well, I don't get what is that purpose. If it's Triple H and Tony Khan just in a dick measuring contest, going, well, I'm not gonna let this guy go be successful. No, I'm not gonna let this guy go be successful. What I can't wrap my head around what is the purpose other than competitive advantage. Are you just doing it? And then there's the human element of that, of like, you're fucking with people's lives just so that the other company can't have a guy that you're not even really willing to use anyway. That stuff doesn't make sense to me. And it was originally reported that Tony Khan had this policy that any guy who wasn't happy, you come talk to me and we'll get you on your way. We'll get you where you need to go. Because this isn't a company of locking people down. Now that Triple H has taken over, the rumor is that this policy that was kind of unwritten is now, no, you guys, you can't jump ship. It make us look weak. It's funny how it's easy to have these like real loose employment guides and real like, oh, we're wrestler friendly. It's easy to do all that until there's a real disadvantage to your company. Then all of a sudden you go and you start doing corporate shit. And that's what Tony Khan's doing, right?
Yep.
Thing I think is, you see like Saraya signed a 3-year contract and you see Adam Cole sign like a 3 or 5 year contract. I think these wrestlers, I get there's a little bit of longevity and you're trying to get job security, but I also think you need to be smart when you sign these contracts. And when you lock yourself in for 3 to 5 years, that's a long time with a company that you don't know the forecast of AEW. And you also don't know, Tony Khan has a history of using you for 6 weeks, and then what? You're going to sit around for the next 2.5 years and not do anything? So I have an excerpt here from an article that's talking about this policy that Tony Khan has. It says, at this point, nobody's getting released. That's the new doctrine. Tony Khan has made that clear to everybody in the last couple of days. So for now, it's just Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews. They're not really released. They're just on hiatus. I think Malachi said something to the effect of he was going back to AEW the other day. It's not to say it's a hard and fast rule and there'd be no way to ever give anybody a release. But I think it's pretty much the deal that if this happened in the other company, would those people get releases? And the answer is no. So here we go. Now you're basing your Tony Khan's now going, I'm not WWE. I'm the happy fun place. And now he's going, oh, you guys can't have your release because WWE wouldn't release you if you were in this situation. Yeah. This is what I talk about when the erratic behavior of Tony Khan. And this goes both ways. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that WWE should do this either. I think that when you look down now I get it. You're not releasing Seth Rollins. You're not releasing Jericho. You're not releasing Moxley. Your top guys, the guys that represent your company, they're on the cups, they're on the t-shirts. You're not letting those guys go. But I'm talking about when you get down the roster and guys that haven't been on TV for weeks, right? Miro hasn't been on TV for weeks. Andrade's been on in very limited capacity. If those guys want to go, cut the cord, let them go. And then in the same instance, guys like Mustafa Ali in WWE, who's a very capable wrestler, but there's just nothing for him there. Yeah. He's not getting over with that audience. And it's a certain amount of it isn't his fault. I think Mustafa Ali prototypically is 100% an AEW guy.
Oh, I think so too.
That audience would respect the fuck out of him. And that's not WWE's fault. That's not Mustafa Ali's fault. That is just the way there is a separation in what these companies appreciate. We talked about it last week with personality versus wrestling skill. Mustafa Ali, probably an 8 in wrestling and a 2 in his character work. I'm not knocking Mustafa Ali. I think he's extremely good at what he does, but I don't think anybody would argue Mustafa Ali is a better wrestler than he is character. And that tends to do better in AEW. So why can't Triple H just let him go? And I don't know, maybe he doesn't want to go anymore. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. But it seems to me like there's greener pastures for him on the other side, whereas someone like Miro, someone like Andrade, they'd probably be happier in WWE.
So I have a quick question. Mm-hmm. So Toni Storm, did she ask to be released and was released?
Yeah, I believe so. I think she left and went home.
For Tony Khan to say WWE wouldn't do it, but they did do it.
I mean, that's actually kind of true. I don't remember the full story behind it, but
I don't either. That's why I was kind of asking. So I mean, that'd be interesting.
To me, like, that's a prime example. I didn't even think of that. That's a great example, right? Of somebody who in WWE she wasn't going anywhere. She was never going to be on the level of Charlotte and Becky in WWE. So you let her go, let her be happy, let her go to AEW. Now, question though, can we imagine a point in time where, and this has been done, this is not unprecedented, UFC and Bellator have done this, two completely separate companies that are, lack of better words, they're competitors.
Yeah.
Right? One, UFC's the WWE, Bellator's more like AEW, if you're scaling where they are. But could WWE and AEW, is there ever a point in time that we foresee that there could be intercompany trading going on where but you make that face and that's the face I want to make.
See my face,
but that's the same face I think people made when UFC and Bellator talked about it, right? And then all of a sudden Bellator made a trade with AEW. I mean, now my companies are all mixed up. UFC made a trade with Bellator. Forgot the guy's name, but it was for Ben Askren.
Yeah.
Ben Askren came to UFC and UFC traded somebody over to Bellator and it just worked, right? When you start to look at AEW's roster and WWE's roster, can we envision a time where like Triple H goes, okay, this person's not happy there and this person's not happy here, so I'll give you Mustafa Ali, you send me back Miro, right? Something like that.
You know what? When you put it like that, I think it could work because you said it, right? Certain characters, certain people just work better in the other company. Different demographics of people, different types of viewership, all that. And
I think in a perfect world that works. I think the problem right now is I think Triple H, and this is meant in a complimentary way, but it's going to sound bad. I think he's an asshole. Mm-hmm. I think he's a guy who wants to stick the dagger in. I don't think he wants to trade for those people. I think he wants to get them out of their contract. And I think he just wants to bury AEW. I do think there's a competitiveness. If it doesn't exist, people go, the fans, they're able to like both companies. But I do think there is a competition right now going on between Tony Khan, where he continues to take shots at WWE in interviews. And I don't think Triple H will acknowledge it, but I think each and every premium live event that we see like this, where it's just fucking, he's taking the knife and he's just sticking it in and he's turning it and he's going, we'll just fucking stipulation and stipulation and stipulation. Yep. And we're going to show you what the WWE can be when it's running on full.
Because I don't need a cheap shot. I'm going to fucking go for the jugular.
He's not going to acknowledge it. He's not going to acknowledge it's happening. But as he watches his metrics, he's going to go, yeah, no, we're still the big fucking dog. Quit. You don't get it fucking twisted.
Let's go.
All right, so we're going to do something new this week. I've been wanting to do this. I was going to make a whole show out of this, but I don't know that it's more fun just do it fast, and we'll do it. It'll take a couple minutes. So this is a speed draft. We're about to do a draft, and each week we're going to do a draft with a different theme.
Okay.
This week we're going to draft masked wrestlers. I told you this earlier. You made a list, so you should be able to rapid fire, but you get like 15 seconds to make your pick. And this is we're drafting the top 5 masked wrestlers, and then we'll let the comment section vote on who took it, who won.
Okay,
go ahead. Who you got first? I'll let you go first. First pick of the draft.
The number 1 mask man.
Number one pick in the masked wrestler draft is
Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio. Yes. Solid pick. You can't go wrong with Rey.
He wears lots of masks. 50 million masks.
He does. He may have the most mask of any wrestler. So number 1 pick, I'm gonna go. And mask is anything that covers the face, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Mankind. My first pick in the draft is Mankind.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
go ahead. Number 2.
I had Kane, because like you just think of that like.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
I don't know that I thought of Kane as a.
Well, he puts a mask on.
But
a mask.
No. You're right. But my
hair.
problem is the later Kane didn't wear a mask, so I don't think of Kane back that far sometimes. Good choice.
Just because that's what the Kane I've seen.
Good choice. My second choice, Ultimo Dragon, WCW guy. You don't know who he is.
So I was right to say that we could do any company.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, any company. These aren't just WWE. You can go anywhere with it. Third choice,
Luchasaurus, man. Lucha fucking Saurus.
The big dinosaur boy.
I mean, you got a fucking dinosaur mask.
Big dinosaur. People hate on the Luchasaurus, but I like the Luchasaurus. I like him. Yeah, he got some size on him. Number 3, this one I'm gonna hit you with some history here.
Okay.
American Dragon. That's Daniel Bryan used to wear a mask.
Really?
Yeah.
I have no idea who the fuck.
So
I mean, I know Daniel Bryan, but I
Dragon.
know who the fuck. And I've heard of the American Dragon, but I don't know what the fuck the American Dragon
Daniel
is.
Bryan in a mask right there. All right,
I gotta go look that up.
Number 4, who you got?
I got my girl, Carmella.
Wait, you're counting fucking Carmella?
Fuck yeah. She wore a mask to protect herself.
That glittery ass shit she wore?
Fuck yeah, you said any mask. Best masked wrestler.
Hey man,
Right
I was with you on your list. You were doing the thing.
Nah.
And then you hit me with Carmella.
Fuck yeah.
You ran out of people is what happened here.
Well, maybe, but she's my favorite wrestler. One of my favorite girl wrestlers.
My desk. Number 4, Undertaker on my side. At one point in time, Undertaker wore.
See, you're going for fucking history here. I don't know.
You have to though. You have to dig deep when you're drafting. You got to come out. I got to come out with bangers.
Bangers.
As Sheamus says. Last pick. Who you got?
The only other masked one I know, Nikki Ash, because I love her so much.
It did get hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I got down to 5, I was like, I thought there was more masked wrestlers than this, especially ones that I know. Like I went online and Googled masked wrestlers, and there's a list a mile long. I just, as a fucking casual wrestling fan, like who was I gonna go with? Fucking what was his name? Sin Cara? No.
Yeah.
My fifth masked wrestler is Vader.
I'm going to say good choice. I don't know who that is, but I'm going to say okay.
I think if you saw a picture, you would know who Vader was.
Okay.
All right, so let us know in the comments who won that draft. Bullshit. All right, let's end this off by talking about our wrestling fantasy league here. So weirdly enough, for the last couple of days, I've been seeing like everything I look at my phone. Mm-hmm. I've been seeing like series of numbers. Like I'll look at my phone at 333 or 444. My fucking score was 666. That bothers the fuck out of me.
That's real wicked.
So I'm at 666 this week. You're at 654.
6'5'4".
Dude, I didn't
4'5'6".
think about that. Yeah.
Dying.
So there's not a big difference, and I am worried this week because with the hurricane in Florida, it is rumored that SmackDown is going to feature a lot of Raw talent because of travel, and they're already in Canada. So so we're going to get a Raw heavy SmackDown, which lends itself to you better than it does to me. I did completely forget who was on my roster. I had to go back and look. So I'm going to recap the rosters. I have Dakota Kai, Bayley, Jimmy and Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, Ronda Rousey, Raquel Rodriguez, Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman, Gunther, Aaliyah, and Roman Reigns. You have Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Kevin Owens, Liv Morgan, Seth Rollins, Johnny Gargano, Montez Ford, Theory, Sheamus, Dexter Lumis, Karrion Kross, Madcap, Moss, and that's it.
All right.
I don't know why Theory was on there twice.
Maybe because he's that important.
Maybe so. I am going to announce 2 trades this week that I've made, or 2 free agent acquisitions, because you're not paying attention. I've noticed.
No.
You're not in the.
No. Continue.
The free agent acquisitions opened up, and I was able to. I dropped Aaliyah because of apparently she is injured and will not be scoring any points, and I picked up Solo Sikoa.
That is a good
solid
one.
pick up there.
That is
solid pick up there. I also dropped Roman Reigns. He doesn't score points for being who he is in pro wrestling. He is a piece of shit in wrestling fantasy.
Yeah.
So I dropped Roman Reigns, so he's available if you want to pick him up.
Nope.
And I picked up Sami Zayn.
That's another good one.
Sami Zayn, him and Solo are showing up on Raw and SmackDown an awful lot.
You're very fucking bloodline heavy though, bro.
I mean, if I would have kept
you've got
Roman,
the whole
if I would have
freaking
kept
bloodline
Roman,
at
I would
that
have had the complete set of trading cards.
So let's address the fact that you had to go and pick up people. You know why? Because your roster sucks.
No. We're not going to pretend
I
that.
believe in my roster. I believe in my people.
That's not how fantasy works. Like, as a general manager of this company, whatever my company is, this fantasy wrestling company, I make acquisitions. I'm constantly making moves. I'm on the phone making calls. I'm doing my thing. So you're not gonna pin me in as being active, as being some form of weakness.
No, I believe in my people. I know when I picked him for a reason.
Well, Madcap Moss has a fat fucking
He's gonna come back. He's gonna come back. They have something planned for him.
Yeah,
you just don't even know. He could be.
We talked about top scorers from this last week. Liv Morgan scored 60, Jey Uso 41, Jimmy Uso 41, Solo Sikoa 23, Braun Strowman, mine, scored 20, King Woods, who nobody has, scored 20. Kofi, who nobody has, scored 20. I see you reaching for your phone. Raquel Rodriguez, 20. Drew McIntyre, 19. Bayley, 15. On Monday Night Raw, Kevin Owens, who was yours, scored 37. Omos, 29. I just refuse to take Omos.
I'm not fucking picking up Omos. I hate that motherfucker.
I won't do it. Sami Zayn, 28. Bianca Belair, 25. Seth Rollins, 25. Finn Balor, 24. Riddle, 23. Johnny Gargano, 22. Dexter Lumis, 21. Candice LeRae, 20 points.
Okay, might eat my words a little bit. There's some people on there that I might.
Yeah, no. Don't go pick anybody up now. You said, like, you talked like you're happy with your roster.
I am pretty happy with my roster, though.
I mean, yeah, don't go get Candice LeRae, even though she's scoring points. And don't go get fucking
Woods.
Who else was available? Yeah, Woods or Kofi, because, the New Day. How the fuck did we not draft the New Day?
Yes, it is. Because I just had other people.
I just don't have anybody I want to get rid of.
Maybe Madcap Moss.
I think there's a couple on yours that I would get rid of right now.
We'll see.
Anything else? You got anything else?
No, I think that's it. Pretty much.
Right, let's run it out here. This has been another episode of the CWC Wrestling Podcast. Make sure to tune in every week, either on YouTube or Spotify, and please leave us comments. Also, make sure to follow us on TikTok if you don't already. Just search for the Notorious Nerdy D. As always, I am the Notorious Nerdy D. That is Level Up Lauren, and we're ringing the final bell.
Ding, 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 ding.
Step in the ring, if you ready, let's go. Hey, casual wrestling community show. You already know, talking WWE. Keep it rolling and hosted by Notorious Nerdy D. Don't be sure that you gon' find